Withington, South Manchester. The earliest childhood memory I can remember is being driven in a Mini Cooper when my sister got christened when I was about 6 years old. Most of the games that we played were like mostly football, cricket. What we used to call black and white bunny rabbit, when you used to press somebody's door and run off. I'd have to just go back to the christening again. That was the first time I realised how big the family was. You know what I mean? Before then it was like I met a few cousins and the old man and a couple of uncles. But when I went to the christening, it was like, whoa, okay, the family's that big, is it? Yeah. Right, I can see why the venue's so big. My favourite TV programme was Garrison's Gorillas, which was a bit like the A-Team, and it was in the 60s. Carnival, Manchester Carnival, that's about the only one I can remember. That was really big because everybody used to go. I didn't know at the time, my uncle was a witch doctor and used to chase us with the whip. Met all my cousins there, met all my mates there, and we could go crazy for a couple of days. That was the main thing about it. We could do what we wanted. And there was no licks involved, no beatings involved.
I was born in Manchester and I was born in the Withington Hospital, which is located in Withington. I always played many games as a child. At the time there was me and my three sisters, so a lot of the time we played together. So we played a lot of board games like that particular time, like Connect 4. There was other games that I always can't remember, but Connect 4, Snakes and Ladders. I also used to play Jacks, where you just throw. It's like I don't know if you remember what. Well, basically like crisscrosses, and you throw them to the wall, and then we throw them together, and then we bring them back, and that was quite a good game that we used to play. And obviously outside we used to play games like Black and White Rabbit, where we'd knock on people's door and run. That was a really good game. We used to play a lot together. We also used to get in the summer and the springtime, we'd have like daffodils and make daffodil chains. Because we were together a lot, and my mum worked a lot, that we spent a lot of time together playing a lot of games like that. We played with dolls. Even sometimes we used to play that, get the sheets out and blankets and pretend, and the pots and plates for sand and sandcastles, and pretend that we were at a beach. I think the reason why we did all that, because obviously we had each other, my mum weren't late, and obviously we spent a lot of time together. We tried to create loads of things together as sisters. So I found a lot of the time we played a lot together between us as sisters. So yeah, we played things like that. My fondest memories as a child, a lot of the time what I found was weddings. At the time, as time went on, there was about 3 of us at one point, and then my mum had another child, so there was 4 of us. So at that particular era, we attended loads of weddings, and my mum would always take all of us together, and I love the point that we all dressed up, and my mum would look smart, and I lived with my stepdad at the time, and we'd all go to these weddings, and it was just beautiful, the music, meeting all the family from London, Liverpool and Birmingham, and they used to make fun of my mum because she had 4 of us, and say that, oh, you never leave your handbags, and that was always funny about that time. So my fondest memories was like going to a lot of weddings and dressing up and enjoying it, and it was really a fun time for the family. My favourite TV programmes were at that time, just looking on, well, obviously a lot of the time it was a lot to do with children's activities on telly. So it was like Rupert the Bear, if I can remember that, Banana Skin, banana 1 banana 2 banana 3 banana 4, that was that was a good one. Rainbow. It was mainly to do with, at the time, was so like looking back on hindsight, it was like educational programs, but funny and comical and so I'd say it was a lot to do with stories in regards to children's stories and Rupert the Bear and that. I think it was more so that I'd say that was my favourite memories of activities on television. Looking back on childhood and realising certain things, I remember the riots, and I don't know if looking at hindsight, I must have been maybe 14, 15, but I remember the Manchester and Liverpool, and at that time all the urban areas, inner city areas, were going through a lot of turmoil with the police and the government and policies, and I remember the uproar and the anger, what was happening a lot, and obviously at that time there was a lot of Rastafarianism, a lot of black youth, and then there was high unemployment and the way they were treated by the police. I just remember the really severity of the anger that was felt in the community at that time. I found that was one of the biggest events that I remember in regards to that era. Yeah, I can tell you about an event and someone who was important in my life was my mum, because my mum came here over to England from the Caribbean, of a place called Jamaica, and she studied as a nurse here. She obviously had good education from school, but obviously she came here to study to be a nurse, and she worked her way up in regards to nursing, and she was so proud of being a nurse. She loved the uniform and the respect it gave her as a nurse. But I thought it was one of my fondest memories that when it comes to parents' evening at school, that she'd come with a uniform. And all the children and the staff were like, wow, your mum's a nurse. And she was very articulate in speaking about how she's doing and and so forth. And when it was left the room, said, I didn't know your mum was a nurse. And I said, Mummy, look, everyone's still like, they're happy that you're a nurse. She went, I know. And I thought, so, and that was like, it really felt, I felt heartfelt, like, wow, everybody now knows, the teachers, my friends, the people, the pupils know that my mum is a nurse, and it was just classed as a high profession in the back then, so that was really very, very heartfelt.
Born in Hardwick at number 10 Hurstead Walk. It's still at the back there now to this day. Same masonette where I was brought up. The games I used to play was football, Kirby, rounders, ticky-it, all the games that I used to play when I was a kid. Kirby's where you've got two edgings at either side of the road and you throw the ball and you've got to hit it, make it bounce back to you. Ticky-it was like where you run around and take someone and you had to stand still. I'd say bonfire night, going bommy collecting. You just used to go out and get a load of wood and things like that. And guard the bommy overnight, so no one nicked the wood. Yeah, I used to do penny for the guy as well, yeah. I used to go round the local pubs. Sit outside the local pubs and penny for the guy, yeah. Yeah, I made a few bob, but not much. The old pound notes that you used to get when I was a kid, before the pound coins come in. Now you're going back. I had Crackerjack, it used to be on a Friday, yeah. Crackerjack. It was like a kiddies game show. You had to hold like prizes in their hands, so that if you fell off, you'd lose the toys and that. It was alright, it was good. And Tiz was, with Chris Tarrant and someone else. It was like something like Swap Shop. Swap Shop was a bit with, used to be in it as well. I can't think of his name now. Lenny Henry used to do it as well. He used to throw pies at kids. My sister getting married, that was okay. Yeah, that was a good day. St Kentigans in Fallowfield. It was a good day, it was alright. I've got one sister, which is my sister Shirley. I've got two nephews and they've got 4 kids between them. My sister lives in Fallowfield. Is that done?
Yeah.
Right.
I was born in Clarendon in Jamaica. My favourite game was playing Dandy Shandy. Dandy Shandy was someone in the middle sighting the balls, 2 persons at either end of you. My fondest childhood memory would have been my mum's best friend getting married. I liked it because it was me getting dressed in my favourite clothes, eating all the food and the cakes, which you don't really get often, so yeah. My favourite TV programme was Renegade, but didn't watch telly a lot, we played outside. My social event was Denby Showground agricultural event, sorry. It was about people bringing the livestock, selling goats, cows, chickens, yam, music, food, so yeah. We look forward to it every summer holiday.
Where I was born, Brighton. Some of the games I played, wow. I was lucky enough to live in a house that backed onto a school, so we had all of the playing fields, so we'd played lots of outdoor activities, cricket, football. We actually had what we used to be a sand pit, but it was actually for the long jump that they'd jump into, but that was our sand pit. So we used to play in there with the dogs digging holes. So yeah, there. One of my fondest memories as a child, I don't know, some people seem to have really early memories. Like some people say they remember things when they were a baby. I don't at all. I think one of my earliest memories was probably being in a greenhouse at my granddad's, and just the smell of the tomatoes were really, really strong, not like shop tomatoes now. So yeah, probably early memory, tomatoes in a greenhouse. Favourite TV programmes when I was little. This really shows the age, doesn't it? I do remember the ones I used to really like Hawaii 5-0. And I remember I got in trouble the once because I always had to be in when Hawaii 5-0 started. And I remember playing out on the street, hearing the theme tune, thinking, oh, I better run in. And I was actually late because it was the end of the theme tune. So, yeah, that was a big event during my childhood was 1977, which was the Silver Queen's Jubilee. And proper street parties took place. I remember going to the local pub that was all set up, and I remember I won the raffle for my teddy bear, which I've still got. His name's Poochie, and his name's Poochie because while I had to go up and get it, which I didn't want to do, but my mum pushed me and made me go up on stage, this lady who I didn't know grabbed me and said, oh, he looks like a Poochie. But I probably misheard her, but yeah, he was called Poochie. I've still got him.
I was born on the island of Grenada, which is also known as the Isle of Spice in the West Indies. I played hide and seek, hopscotch, tic-tac-toe, and many other games. My fondest childhood memory was being in the brownies and guides, being the brown owl, and going camping around the island. It was scary, but nice. My favorite TV programs were Bonanza and the Beverly Hillbillies. They were hysterical. My social event, the main one, was the month before I left for Grenada to come to England. We went to Expo 69, which is a festival of all the West Indian islands. So you're meeting people from different islands, different culture, different foods, and being there with my friends just before I said goodbye to come to England.
Yep, I was born in Altrincham, in a weird little sort of a kind of villagey country hospital sort of thing, yeah. The games I played as a child, we played lots and lots of street games. We really didn't play indoors. So we played Kickstone 1, 2, 3. We played Wembley, which was a football game where you had to score a goal to go through the next round. Loads and loads, obviously lots of things like British Bulldog, all those sorts of games. But also when I was growing up, the motorway was being built, the M60 was being built, and it was at the back of our houses. And that was like common land between sort of Northenden and Gatley, where the big tip is now. And so we used to sneak onto the motorway as it was being built and go and just play lots of sort of very physically active games, and we'd go tadpoling and all that sort of thing. It was a very, very out and about, out all day long, coming back literally as the sort of sun was going down. Yeah. I think probably one of the most significant was going to the match with my dad the first time, going to Old Trafford the first time, and I was about, it feels it's quite an emotional memory for me, there's a lot of things attached to that. And I was probably about 6 or 7, and I remember we parked up in Stretford and then we walked down Chester Road, and it was just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. The noise, the smells, the kind of smoke drifting across the street lights, the hamburgers, the scarves, the singing, the camaraderie, and just this massive people that I'd never experienced in my life. And my dad having to put me on his shoulders because it was too busy and he was scared of losing me, and just being a hugely, hugely shaping thing in my life. Yeah, didn't watch that much telly. We were out and about most of the time, so we really didn't. And as someone of my age, it was, you know, it was a black and white telly with 3 channels. You know, so we really didn't. What I probably did watch was the things I remember are things like Pipkins with Hartley hair. I was never a Blue Peter kid, and I didn't know many others who were really. We didn't watch all that sort of stuff like Blue Peter. And I remember a programme I used to love was Flashing Blade, which came on either just before or just after. Was it Black Beauty, about a horse? And Flashing Blade was a really sort of, it was the French and Spanish battling, and I used to love that. And that's Saturday mornings. Yeah, big social event. We lived in a really social environment So there's always lots and lots of people in and out of our houses or at other people's houses. So it's a much more communal life, I'd argue, than maybe my family have even, and we try and hold on to a lot of that. But a big social event, I suppose, would be my family were very involved in local politics. My gran was a councillor, and at that time, if City or United won a trophy, they'd have a reception at the town hall. Anyway, United won the FA Cup in 1977, and we got invited to the reception, and so I went, and it was amazing. I met all the United players, and then the team went out onto the balcony in the town hall, and I lifted up the FA Cup with Tommy Docherty to the side of me in front of, I think, 150,000 people in Albert Square. You know, it was just incredible as a kid doing that. I suppose, looking from the questions you've asked me, that sort of communal football thing was football and politics were a big part of my life, and I think that's probably quite typical for my generation and that background, really.
Born in Jamaica, a place named Clarendon. Pass me a pen and go down a place named Clarendon, Boynes District. But when I was little, I have a doll. But growing up a bit bigger, I joined the boys, them I play anything they play. I play marble, I play cricket, I play the one hopscotch, that's for one, and skipping the rope, I play everything that's going. Hopscotch, one where you jump and jump and jump. My happiest memory where I can remember is when I was growing up and could really go to church and see everything for myself. Because you have to keep your eyes straight there and listen everything. If you look around the corner, you get a bump like that with the hand. You know, when you zook it like that, you must pay attention to what's going on. So when I realized I could grow that part, we can do as you feel is right and is proper, I was happy with my grandmother, because if she can't go to church one Sunday, she's dying. I was happy people singing and giving testimony, things that they've done and things they would like to do. It was a happy time, really happy. Well, them days we didn't have any TV in Jamaica. You know, it's most like we would sit down and talk about things that gone past with people and this friend or that friend, because we didn't have any television. Yes, listening music because they have like gramophone and things like that. But I like the Christian one with the singing and things like that. And I like a bit of the music one with all of them dancing and rumbling and all sorts of things. Round thing like that. And you have gramophone here now, isn't it? Yeah? We have it a long time though. Right. But it's like a box there and it's a round thing like that and you put the record on it. So nice. Well, they have lots of celebration really. There's always people celebrating things like that. If you from your country do something that's good and you publish it in this country, they're going to talk if it's right or if it's not right. Yeah. So quite a lot of things. Published quite a lot of things which was interesting. But then, you know what I mean? You guys have to go with the flow. You can't go there and say you're going to do this and do that because they think, are you pretending? You know, you're going to come above us. Yeah. Well, where did I see the trees then? The green trees that come up. They remind me of back home because we have a lot of trees. Right, okay. You have breadfruit trees, you have banana there, you have plum there, you have loads of trees. Right. So that reminds me of the trees. Okay. Yeah.
I was born in Croydon, which is South London, in an area called Addiscombe, and then I moved to Shirley, but it was all within a mile of each other. My earliest memory is going out to the park and playing football, and we used to go up Spring Park Rec almost every day, a group of us playing football all the time. The earliest thing I can remember and I really enjoyed was going on holiday to Exmouth, which is down in Devon, and I can remember going to a play area and sitting on a tricycle, and there's a picture of me on that bike, and I don't know if that's where my love of cycling started, but it's really good, and there was pretend zebra crossings and things like that, and yeah, I played for hours on it, Mum and Dad said when I was down there, but I can really remember that. The biggest social event I can remember is weddings. I mean, I think that's true for a lot of people, and my aunts and uncles' weddings, and being dressed up with a tie with an elastic, being an elastic rather than really tying it. Tony and Sheila's wedding at the church, I can really remember that. I think it was pink or something. It was horrible, but it was that was really good fun. There's two memories from TV. The favourite programme, like I think a lot of people from my age, is Blue Peter, and always having things to make and seeing John Noakes do some stupid things. But the earliest TV memory is actually Winston Churchill's funeral, and I still can see it, the cortege and everything, back in, I think it was 66, and that's the earliest thing I can remember. But it was always Blue Peter on a Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday and Thursdays, or Monday and Thursdays, those times. Really, really fun.
Okay, I was born in Manchester. Where were you born?
I was born in Oldham, so not that far, just up the road.
Okay. Ooh, what games did I play? I played, I think I played Black and White Rabbit as well. Played hopscotch.
So did I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a lot of
hopscotch.
skipping. What did you?
Do you remember elastics?
Was that the thing where you'd have two people and they'd have elastics
Yeah.
stretched around their
Yeah,
ankles?
and the person in the middle would jump in and out of them.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do. Could go on forever, that, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And played lots of rounders at school.
Yeah, rounders, yeah, and netball.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they play that anymore.
Oh, they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Netball and rounders, yeah. Okay, my fondest childhood memory. I need to think about that. What was yours?
I've got a few, but some of mine were because my family was originally from Ukraine. My grandparents. There was a lot of functions and a lot of dancing and things, and I do remember a lot of Ukrainian dancing and actually being dressed up in the national dress and actually doing traditional dancing. I was made to go to Ukrainian school every Saturday and dancing every Monday night.
Oh wow! What was mine? Again, I came from a big family, so I suppose for me it was just about being around family, really, to be honest with you. I think the brownies as well played a big part in my life, getting dressed up in my uniform every week to go to the brownies.
I had very similar, because the Ukrainians actually used to have a Ukrainian youth organisation, very similar to the brownies, dressed up in khaki, with a tie.
Yeah, and your little beret.
I can't remember, but
oh yeah, we had a little brown one that we'd sort of tilt to the side to make us look cool. So yeah, that was us. Favourite TV programme?
well, as a little child, it would have had to be Bagpuss.
Oh yeah.
And Professor Yattl.
Ah yeah, Bagpuss.
I also remember Andy Pandy and Rainbow.
Yeah.
Rainbow. It would probably been that as a child.
Yeah. I think mine were Laurel and Hardy.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely. Even now, we've still got DVDs of Laurel and Hardy.
We have as well. And
Yeah.
my son loved Laurel and Hardy as well.
It was a big thing in our house because if it was on and you weren't inside, because I'm from a big family as well, and they would run outside and say, Laurel and Hardy's on! So you just sort of like run inside and watch it. So I think that was mine. A big social event that happened between 0 and 11 that you can remember.
Well, mine was the Silver Jubilee, the Queen's Silver Jubilee in, I think it was 1977, I think.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. We had a massive parade from school, everybody dressed up in something to do with the royal family.
Yeah.
So I got dressed up as Princess Anne. My mother found a lady that she knows whose daughter had a full riding kit, so I dressed up in the boots and the jodhpurs and the little black riding jacket and the hat and the crop.
Yeah.
And we did a big parade around Shaw where I lived in Oldham.
Wow.
There was a massive parade around Shaw with all the schools.
Wow. I can't actually think of anything, to be honest. I can't think. Social event. I'm thinking about things like Whit Walk, you know, when the whole church would sort of people would get dressed
They were
up
amazing.
and they'd go and walk round
Yes.
the streets. I think they're the kind of things that I can remember, even though I'm sure there were sort of more important and bigger events, but that's what kind of sticks in
I
my
also
mind.
remember every year there was the big Oldham Carnival. There was a lot more carnivals going then, with hundreds of floats.
Yeah.
You could stand there for an hour watching all the floats go by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Health and safety now, they don't do as many.
That's us. Thank you.